Live.
Welcome to another unauthorized and unfueled treasure hunt in the sharky waters surrounding Gatsby Islands with Queen Raae. I'm your host, Captain Ola Nea, and this is Junior Developer Lillian. And today we're gonna do some crazy stuff.
Vi har 2 gjester. Nå må jeg si at vi har 2
I don't know if it's crazy, but we're gonna do some stuff. And I had opened Windows for us and like fixed things, and then my camera didn't work, and I had to restart the computer. And earlier today we had an electrical, not outlet, but like they
Lillian is saying we have to say that we have 2 guests. Voffen and Pricky.
And Pricky.
Du må vri deg så du ser ansiktet.
Oh, I'm usually on the other side so that I can like look at you like that. Yeah. And if you catch the Pirate Princess, she's also dressed up as one of her fluffy toys there, so that we practice, because tomorrow is the Halloween party at the school. So there's no weird illness going on in her face. That's just leopard dots that I've tried to create. So let's see. We're gonna do some unfollow feature for Prune Your Follows. Finally, we've been leading up to that for a long time. There's been some problems with actually doing that from inside of the application, because we need access to people's personal Twitter tokens to be able to unfollow and follow people for them. And we didn't have access to that with the first authentication solution we used. So then we went to NextAuth, where we do get access to the personal token of the user. And then we migrated to Xata. And now we're finally going to be able to create the unfollow directly from the application.
Yes.
And then I'll just open some more stuff here. Maybe do some retweeting. Bam, bam, bam. See if we can do some retweeting. Okay. So, do you have the task for us? Yes. So what? Today we're going to let you unfollow people straight from Prune Your Follows, the application we're creating to help you figure out who you should unfollow, and then unfollow them so you can make room for new and beautiful people in your Twitter stream. And how we're going to get into it. So earlier today, I tried to open like a little diagram. Let's see if I can open it up again after everything crashed on me. Yes. So what are we doing? No. Add to stream. There we go. Okay, now here we are. So we have our client application, which looks like this. Or did it close down on me? No. So this is our client application. It lists people you can unfollow. And then I've cheated a little bit and added this unfollow button, but we need to make it do something. It's not doing anything at this point. So what we kind of need to do is that, we don't want to have all of this Twitter access tokens in the client. We could potentially do that, but I also want to talk to Xata, and that has to happen server side. So we want to do kind of all of the functionality server side. So we have our client here. We got our Gatsby function, which is on the server, and then Xata, which is our third party. So when we're on the client, we want to be able to click this unfollow button, and that should send a request to our Gatsby function. And then the Gatsby function will send a request to, I forgot Twitter. So it will send a request to Twitter. It will send a request to Twitter to actually unfollow. We get feedback back from Twitter if this, like, how did that go? Is the person now followed or unfollowed? And when we got that answer, we're going to tell Xata to update that record, because we don't want to import everyone from Twitter again just to kind of catch that person that we unfollowed. So we want to do some updating of the record in Xata. And then we can reply to the client, and then the client should update its list. And updating its
Yes.
list,
Oh,
it will do by
hello!
calling the Gatsby function
I will
that
read
then will
it.
call
Sorry.
Xata. And then Xata will answer our Gatsby function, and then the Gatsby function will answer our client.
Okay, sorry.
So I
will
hope
read
everyone
it.
enjoyed that little
Arrgh.
diagramming at the beginning of the show. Okay, Ola.
Do you hear me?
Yes, John is there.
Arrgh.
I am making
that-
John internet famous with my little Descript video clips. I hope people are enjoying those. Yeah. So to repeat, for an unfollow, so this is our unfollow process, I guess. Our client asks the Gatsby function to unfollow a person. The Gatsby function asks Twitter to unfollow, wait for the response. Then the Gatsby function updates Xata and then also waits for the response. Oh, there was a arrow drawing there. So this one is a beautiful arrow instead of my hand-drawn ones. Waits for the response from Xata, and then we will give the client notifications that the unfollow has happened. And then when that is ready, then the client will need to refresh its list. Refresh. How is that spelled? Refresh. So then it's going to ask the Gatsby function to get everyone within the category it's on. So that's a request to Xata. Xata answers, and that response is giving back to the client. And this would be similar if we were on search, like we worked on last week. So this could be the refresh. We need to refresh either these filter list or the search list to make sure that we have the updated information from Xata. So let's go.
Let's go!
Have any questions for that, Ola, for that
No.
little diagrammy?
Lilian liked it.
Oh, it was fun drawing. I think we should do more of that. Okay.
Tegningen
So
til mamma.
this is our application at this moment. It looks really weird right now because it has only unfollow, but there's going to be a button here at some point as well. So hopefully this design will work. Cool. So I have this unfollow button. I have a handle unfollow on. When you unclick the button, oh, I need to up my. There we go. So we have a on-click handle unfollow. We want to unfollow, and we want to do event target blur because we're using Tailwind where you get these nice rings. But since this is just updating inside of our app, like we want to make sure that the blurring, which is that blue line, actually disappears. Otherwise, it's a little weird. So that's event target blur. And event target will then be our button. And we say blur, and it's no longer focused, and it won't get the focus design. And at this point, we're just console logging something. So what I want to do is that I want to await a request to my Gatsby function. So I've decided to use the API/following, and then I'll use the post request. So we have a get request to get following, and then we'll use the post request to unfollow.
Okay.
So we'll await Axios post, and then it's API following. And we want to give it the account ID that we're going to unfollow. And then the handle event needs to be asynchronous for this to work. And we could maybe do the blurring after it's happened, so that the blur, so it's highlighted until it's happened. Okay, so we're calling the API following, we're posting to it, and we're sending an account ID. So if we head on over to our following API or endpoint, you can see I've started a little bit. It's got a response. It responds with whatever post following is given. But as you can see below, I kind of want to do the validation of the request here and then send validated information into the post following. And the post following will need the access token to Twitter. It will need the ID of the person trying to unfollow, and then it needs that account ID of the person that it's trying, the person trying to unfollow and the person that is going to be unfollowed. So we'll say that what we want coming in here is only the account ID that we were sending, and then we're getting the access token, the Twitter access token from this next auth token that has all the information about the logged in user. So let's start by creating a schema for whatever we want to get kind of from outside of our server. So joy object, so that's going to be an account ID. And that's going to be a string, joy string, and it's required. Okay, then we want to validate, so we'll just copy paste the validations we've done below. But the difference here now is that we're doing a post request. Information that we're sending in will be on the body and not on the query. So let's do request body there. And then if there's a validation error, we'll send the validation error. And then we will send that validated value, which will be the account ID, into our post following. Ooh. And what did I say we needed in addition? We needed an access token, a Twitter access token. That's what's going to authenticate our user to Twitter so that they're actually allowed to unfollow people they follow. Twitter access token, and then also the ID of like the logged in person. And I've called that follower ID before, so let's do that. And we can get that from our next auth token. And when you're logging in, so next auth lets you kind of takes care of all the boilerplate for letting people log in with different services. So since we've been logging in with Twitter, that's what the information that's going to be on that token. But also, if you're logging in with other, Google or Facebook or stuff like that, they will save that on this token. So I know that our token sub, the property sub on token, will be kind of the ID of the person in whatever service you're using. So since we're using Twitter, this is going to be the Twitter ID.
Question.
Yes.
Okay. Would a get an or post trigger a build on Gatsby Cloud, or is that overkill for this app?
So since we are now in we are in the authenticated space, so the person has logged into our app, we don't want to rebuild anything or do anything, because that would always be global information. So what we want to do here is that we only want to be working kind of client side. So the person has authenticated and we are just in our React code, and it's not really Gatsby anymore. It's just our React client code. But like if we wanted to showcase on our marketing page some information about how many people has been unfollowed during kind of a session, or like how many people have been unfollowed using our service, we could trigger a rebuild of Gatsby and then showcase that number on the front page. But we would probably just do that like once a day and not like as it's happening. The pirate princess is calling me, so I'm going to answer her and then come back to you.
You know what, people? We just got ourselves a wood stove that we carried in. Oh, you're back? No, you're not back. A wood stove that we carried in yesterday. We first we got it delivered by a truck, and then we used the walk like an Egyptian method, which is basically you put planks on the ground like this, and then you put little pipes on top of the planks and you roll it. And that's I see, says John, and I think he's talking about your answer.
We'll continue on the wood stove story.
And then we rolled it on the planks. You know, you had these little metal pipes and put them in like little tiny wheels, and we rolled it. We rolled the stove, and we had to do that. We had like, how many people did we have? 5 people?
6 people.
6 people? 6 people?
Yeah.
We had 6 people, and we even had to roll because it was 210 kilos, which is what in American stuff? Well, it's 210
I don't know. Somebody
kilos.
can
It's
do that calculation.
super heavy, and also the wood stuff, so it was probably like 220 kilos. So yeah, about like 3 or 4 grown men, you know, stacked on top of each other. Yeah, it was a good project, and we got it all the way into the little corner in the kitchen, and now we need to get it hooked up.
And that's why everything is different behind there, if people have noticed, because we are moving around on a lot of things to get room for this wood stove.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to our code now that I've helped the pirate princess. Where was I? Yes, we need this Twitter access token. So I know I can get the sub, which I think stands for subscriber. So if you log in with Facebook, it's the Facebook ID. Probably if you're logging in with Twitter, it's a Twitter ID on the token sub. And then in addition, I am setting the Twitter access token onto the Twitter access token onto the next auth token, so that, yeah, here I'm doing that, so that we can have access to it. Because otherwise it kind of will be just thrown away, because next auth I want to save a lot of things in case it's not supposed to be saved, but we want to save this onto the account here, and then access it later. So I know I can then grab the Twitter access token from the next auth token. So our Twitter access token will then be the, what happened there? But then the token Twitter access token. And we should have a working post function. So let's head on into our post following.
Yep.
And just do some console logging. Console log and unfollow. And follow, and then let's do the follow. Oh, we need the destructure. What were we sending in? The follower ID, and then the account ID to be unfollowed, and then the Twitter access token. So let's show the following ID and the account ID. Let's see if it's working so far. If we head on here, we're here to Barack Obama, who I plan to unfollow. Something crashed. So let's at least do a try catch around our axis so that we are able to catch this and not just crash everything. But let's say what it said. Like, why did it crash? Let's try again. I don't know even if we're getting anywhere. So let's look at our console log. Console log. Oh, we got an access error. Bad request. Okay, so let's have a look again. So we had to do access post, API following, account ID. I thought that should be correct. Isn't that correct?
What is table meta not found in schema?
Xata is giving me some, it's complaining. I'm not 100% sure why it's complaining. So we'll just go have a look here if I can see some. I tried some of this account. Okay, so, oh, no, so account ID. Let's just try to console log that this is working. That we are trying to unfollow. Unfollow account ID. Let's try again. Unfollow. Okay, so we get the access error. Is it even? Oh, we need a slash. We need to go from Ruth. Now it's trying to, when you don't have the slash, it's trying to append that kind of path to whatever we have here, which would be then /app/ and then API. I don't know how many times I've done that error. Oh, please. Come on.
Look at John.
I was crying.
Yeah.
Woo! What's happening? Okay, let's see now. Unfollow. Still. Oh, now we got a request failed with status code 500, which is more like what we want. It's actually been talking to our backend. So it says that post following is not a function. So let's have a look. Following. We are importing following from domains API. It's there. Oh, but we're not exporting it. So let's make sure we export it. Post following from post following. Okay, maybe that will get us closer to our. Okay, that didn't seem like it crashed. No. Executed unfollow. Yes. So
yes,
we have gotten to this point in our evolution, in our journey. We're clicking the button. It's calling our Gatsby function. Our Gatsby function is validating that the data coming in is correct, sending us to the correct function to do what we need to be done. Boo! Yeah. Ba, 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 ba. Okay. So what were we going to do in here? Let's have a look at our little drawing. So we got into the Gatsby function. Now we want to talk to Twitter. And I had that open and nice, but let's do developer Twitter and follows reference, following, delete. Is it delete? Okay. So to be able to unfollow, we need to send a request to this endpoint here, but I'm using the SDK. So, okay. Yeah. So here, TypeScript. Or JavaScript, it doesn't matter. But this is the SDK that I'm using. So we want to do this thing here. And let's then create that. We have an own Twitter file here. So let's export. I call them export const on follow user. And we need to create a Twitter client. And then we've copy pasted from the documentation. And that's, we already has made like Twitter. We call it Twitter, not Twitter client. Wait, it needs to be an asynchronous. And in here, we need to get the target user ID and the source user ID. And then also the access. Yeah, so within kind of the world of Twitter, they call it the source user ID is the person who's doing the action, and then the target user ID is the person that's going to be unfollowed. So we do source here instead of a hard-coded ID. And then we do target user ID for the target. And then we're using our personal access token, and that's the unfollowed user. And then I don't want these things to error out, so I do try catch around it. And then if it's an error, let's return an error, an object with error, or if not, let's return whatever we get back, unfollow user. Okay, so now we should have an unfollow function error. Hopefully that works. If we head into our post following, the first thing we then want to do is that we want to await const result. We want to await the unfollow user.
Okay.
And it should have a target user ID, which is in our world, the account ID being sent in. The source user ID in our world is the follower ID. And then it should also have the access token. Okay. Let me make sure I made this an object when I was making that function. Yes, I did make that an object. So now we're waiting. So if there's an error coming from let's see if there's an error coming out of here. Then something went wrong. So let's console log that. Warn error. Error message. And then let's just throw it so everything just collapses. And if, so then throw, that will just stop everything. And then if it doesn't error, we want to do something with Xata. So let's log here as well. So we now have a successful unfollow. Unfollow. And what are we getting back from Twitter? What is this unfollow user? Let's have a look in the documentation. What are we getting back? We're getting back data, and then the data is following. Yes. So there's a data object in here. So in post, we can then grab data, not date, data. Successful unfollow, and then let's just write out the data and see if we get a successful unfollow. Are we confident?
Yes. Absolutely.
What am I doing now? Oh boy. My computer is not. Oh yeah. It's not liking me these days. We are having some issues.
Okay.
Okay, there we go. But why is this so big now suddenly? There we go. Okay. Let's go to our app. We're trying to unfollow Obama. So request failed with status code 401. Let's have a look in our unauthorized.
Oh. Didn't it time out last time?
Oh. It might have. Yes. So let's try and, because we haven't created any functionality for because the access token is only valid for I think 2 hours. So we haven't created any functionality yet that when it times out and you no longer have an access token, the application should let you kind of throw you out and have you sign in again, or ask you politely to sign in again. So let's try that.
But it didn't say anything. It stopped working.
Yes, it says 401 unauthorized.
Okay.
So it's the Twitter API is not allowing that token anymore. So we're still getting 401.
No.
So we have an access token. Request failed with status code 401. Did we have some other problems with? Didn't we have?
We had some access problem thingy.
It was the scope. Yeah. Okay. Because we were having some problem when we were converting to next auth.
Yeah.
No, we were having some problem when we were trying to import. I don't know if we did that on stream, but I had some problems when I was trying to import users, and I didn't have the correct permissions. The access token didn't have the correct permissions, because when we're using OAuth 2.0, there's this like scope thing where when you kind of request your access token, you let it know what kind of permissions do you want to have or should the user have. And that's what shows up here. So if we sign out again and we do go to app, like these things, this app can view people who follow you and people who you follow, all the tweets you can view, blah, blah. So I think there's some issues with the scope.
So you're saying that we don't have the permissions?
We don't have the permission to unfollow. And if I remember correctly, last time it's blatantly tells you this in the documentation. So let's see. Yes. OAuth 2.0 scopes required by this endpoint. Tweet read, users read, and follows write. So let's head on back. I think I even ended up writing an email about this because, we didn't do it on stream. I wrote an email about it. Permissions auth. Let's see. Yes, but that was 403 forbidden. Access token. Then check this thing here, and then go to your next auth config and fix it. So let's see if that fixes our problem. So what are the scopes we have? We have user read, tweet read, follows read. And then what did we need? That's 3. We have 3.
Follows right. Follows right.
Follows right. Okay, so we needed the follows read to be able to read all of the follows, and then we need follows right to be able to not follow. Not follow. Okay, so then I think I need to log in and out again to make sure that we are getting the correct permissions. Oh, look at that. Things this app can do. Follow and unfollow people for you. Oh yeah. Yeah. Let's see now.
Okay, should I do this again then? Like that?
Yes. Unfollow. No.
No? But why?
Bad request. What's happening?
This is not bad.
Unauthorized. Are we getting this? Where are we?
Okay.
Unauthorized. So let's see where we're at. Post following, because we're not even getting to unfollow now. Something is wrong, because we did get unfollow the last time. So are we getting the following unauthorized? Now that's a 422. Okay, here we have one that is token, throw new error, unauthorized if there is no token, but we should be getting the token.
So you're basically saying that we created that 401 error. That's kind of something you set up to give us that message. Is that what you're saying?
No, because this isn't. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what is happening now.
Where is it coming from?
Where is it coming from? Status code unauthorized.
So could that error just show up without you?
No.
Actually...
No. So here it is. Unfollow.
Yeah.
Which is what we're writing in our post. So we're actually coming in here. Yes, we are here. So it's coming from Twitter. So let's have a look at our unfollow. Unfollow user. We're creating a new Twitter with the access token. And then we're source user. Let's have a look. Source user ID is our follower ID.
Yeah, but right where we were there, you didn't have the target user ID there.
I didn't.
In that other thing.
Post user, I
yes,
have the target user
there it
ID.
Is. Yeah, sorry.
So the only thing I'm wondering if I've written something wrong on the Twitter access. So like make sure, because I don't want to print out the access token. So bear with me while I just copy paste. So it's gonna be the Twitter access token. And we're on following token, Twitter access token. Twitter access token. This is where TypeScript would help us out. And then post following Twitter access token, Twitter access token. And then this is the access token. Access token, because we are now in. Okay. Users ID and follow. So console log target user ID, source user ID. I could do access token and then do slice or something. Slice 0 to 5 just to see if we have a string there. Okay, let's try again. Oh, but now we got a successful unfollow. So I think the matrix was just like not working.
So now it works?
So it seems so. So let's go on over to Obama here and see if I'm still following him. I am not. So let's follow him again so that we can I don't know, like the Matrix, just like, I don't know, something aligned and it's all working again. Okay. Maybe also just because maybe I had a spelling mistake, maybe something was just a spelling mistake. Okay. So we got that working. So what we need now is to tell Xata that we have unfollowed this person. So let's do const record, and then do Xata, or not as, Xata, db account. That would be the account with the ID, account ID, and then following should then be updated with false. And we can't just do it like this. We need to do create or update. And we need to wait,
Correct.
otherwise nothing works. See how messy I code. That's the way I do it. Okay. Successful unfollow record. So data and then the record. Let's see. Let's see. Bum, 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 bum.
400.
Okay, invalid record, column following, column not found. That's because we haven't been inside of Xata and telling it that it should have a column named following.
Was that why?
Yes.
Let's see what John says here. I'll read it. Must be a ghost since it's close to Halloween. Ikke sant,
And we
Lilian?
want a boolean. And let's call it active.
John sier at det var et spøkelse som gjorde at ikke det virka. Lilian agrees with John.
Followed by, and then let's do, should we do active or should we do following, true, false? Do you have a preference? Let's do following. Naming is hard, everyone. Following.
Yeah.
Hit column.
Boom.
Okay. Let's try again. So let's head on over to Barack Obama and see if he. Let's follow him again. Okay. And then we try to unfollow. Seems like it worked. Look at that.
Oh, yeah. Bye, Obama. Bye.
So what I did was I just did unfollow false, but let's say something has like changed in the meantime. Maybe I went somewhere else and like clicked on, follow or something.
Yeah.
I think we can do, so what we get back from the data here is the actual status. So if we do data, what we're getting back from Twitter, if we go to the Twitter documentation, what we're getting back, the response, the example response is, are we following, true or false? So we should just use that information coming back from Twitter instead of assuming that it's false, because things can have changed, or it might have failed at some, for some reason. I don't know. So it's nice to always use the responses you get back instead of just assuming that what you tried to do, worked. So following, and we're good. Successful unfollow. And if we head on over to our our Xata, and we do a filter, and we can do a filter on name contains Obama, and then we show the column following. I think we need to refresh before we can see our newly created following. There we are, following. Here we can see that, Barack Obama is not following, but Michelle Obama, who we kind of what's it called? We imported her earlier, and everyone who's imported does not have a following set because we didn't have that. So let's add that on our import. So if we go to our import following, so everyone we import, we know we are following because we are just grabbing the following. So following and then true. And then we can set it to false. And then if I head over here and then do follow, well, if I head on over to Twitter itself and I do follow again and Barack Obama gets imported again, then following will become true again. So that's good. That's what we want. But then we want him to, but let's do an import. Let's do an import. And the way it's set up now is that whenever you sign out and then you sign in again, we do an import.
Oh yeah, you're re-importing everything now?
Yeah, so whenever somebody signs in, I send a request to API import. And then I don't await it or anything. I just wanted to kind of like kick off and start importing people. And we'll see here in our log that we have now imported people. And let's see if some people are. And you can see Michelle is still, is true, but Barack Obama was imported earlier, but did not get imported now.
Why?
Because we had unfollowed him. So we don't import him anymore. We only import the following. Or the people we are following. So
are you getting ready to stop?
I am very soon getting ready to stop because the last thing we then need to do is I think Obama still shows up here.
No, he doesn't.
Or he doesn't.
He's gone.
He is gone because we've done a new import. But let's say Hillary, I want to unfollow her as well. So I do unfollow. Nothing really happens, right? But if I head on over to Hillary, I can see that I'm not following her anymore. And then if I did a re-import, I would, things would change. But what I can do is that in my get following, I now filter. So why Obama was removed is because I already created this thing that if the timestamp the person was imported is less than the timestamp of the last import, they are no longer following them. So that's a way to kind of unfollow. But then another filter we need here then is that following is true. And if we head on over here now, she is gone.
Bye.
And if I do unfollow on, I do want to. So let's do Michelle Obama unfollow.
Oh, we have a comment from.
Nothing happens, but if I go back, I think, she's gone. So what we need to do, we were going to do React query. We're not going to do that today, but what we would do is that we would, in our client-side code, in this unfollow button, we would refactor this unfollow call to a mutation and then also let React query know that when we've done this mutation, it should refetch the list of people.
Can I read the John?
Yes.
All right. On your unfollow button, you might like to have a UI where the button text changes to undo, where it would allow 3 seconds to cancel your choice.
That would be awesome. I don't think I have the chops to do that. What we will do, though, my plan is to kind of quickly, kind of optimistically, as soon as you click unfollow, the person gets removed. And then we'll have a list of everybody you've unfollowed since you became part of Prune Your Follows. So you could go there and kind of grab and follow the person again. And that should maybe be, based on whenever it was unfollowed or something like that. But yeah, I don't think we'll do that for now, but that would be a great way to solve it.
John says, LOL.
Yeah. So we got there almost.
What do you mean? What? Don't we're not doing anymore. But what's missing?
It's what I said. I want to be able to unfollow And then when it happens, the person should be removed. Now I have to unfocus and focus again, and the person is removed because React Query is asking to update the list of people. So what
Okay.
we want to do, as I tried to say, is that we want to refactor this into a mutation call,
Yeah. Okay.
React Query mutation call, and then as soon as you try to do it, or as soon as it's actually done, we want to let React Query know that it should invalidate the results that are already coming through use following and kind of refetch this data. So that was the
Okay.
part. Kind of we've now, the client asks to unfollow, the Gatsby functions ask Twitter to unfollow, we get a response, we update Xata and tell Xata that we have unfollowed, even though you haven't re-imported, you know now that this person is not followed anymore. And then we tell the client this, but what the client then needs to do is refetch the list by asking Xata for all of the valid accounts and then all the way back. So we didn't get to do that bottom part.
Okay. I see.
Yes.
So
But that was
should we
kind of a
wrap?
summer.
Should we wrap it up?
Wrap it up.
You
Wrap,
want the
wrap,
little pink
wrap.
Tasker Bell?
Yes. So what did we do? We're letting people unfollow from within our app. So the first arrow here, we need the client to ask a Gatsby function to unfollow. So we're doing that in our unfollow button. We are Axios post API following with the account ID that we want to unfollow. Then the Gatsby function, post function, will verify that you have sent in a correct body.
That's not Friday.
It has an account ID. And then it will get the Twitter access token from the next auth token, sending that into a post following function. And the post following function is the one that will then ask Twitter to unfollow. So await unfollow user. Instead of unfollow user, we're asking Twitter. Then we get a response. And if nothing has gone wrong, we will ask Xata to update the account by setting the following to whatever status we got back from Twitter. And then, well, we're just sending back okay, but we could send back the whole record. That's usually when you send post requests to update something, kind of the norm for the API endpoint is to return the updated thing. So that's what we want to do here. And then we send the record back to the client, and then the client can either update the list that it has with the new information, or it can ask to refetch the list of accounts by asking a Gatsby function that will ask Xata, and then Xata will answer, and then the Gatsby function will answer. And we didn't get to do that part.
That's okay. I say.
Whew, that was a long one. Thank you for sticking with us, John. It's always nice to have some people being active in the chat.
Yep.
It makes it a little easier. I just wanted to do kind of this whole dance, I guess, where we are like calling the server and then the server calling other services, and we're going, we're calling the Gatsby function, which is a server-side code that is talking to our third parties, Twitter and Xata, and then those are answering, and then we answer our client. Because now with all of the frameworks kind of muddying up what happens on the server, like we do all of this in one kind of file, but there's still something happening on the client. There's still something happening on the server, and like understanding what happens where and kind of the mental model behind how the web kind of client talks to server, talks to third parties, blah, blah. Like it's nice to kind of wrap your head around these things, because that will make it easier to understand, like, why isn't something working in your React code because it was only supposed to happen on the server. It wasn't supposed to happen on the client.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And
All
also,
right, then.
Gatsby version 5 is out. Woo-hoo!
Yeah. Woohoo!
Oh, no, it's coming next week. Sorry, it's coming next week. Yes.
So are we doing something about that next week?
Maybe we should have a little party.
Oh, I thought maybe we should use it.
Maybe, but we might have a extra special stream next week that we can't talk about yet.
It's a super secret stream thing.
Maybe.
But that makes it impossible for us to use Gatsby 5.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah, it does.
No, it doesn't. But we can't. I don't think we could. Yeah, we could probably upgrade Prune Your Follows on stream next week to Gatsby 5.
Yes,
we could try to do that. Yeah,
that's what I call a party.
Yeah.
Skal du komme, Lilian? Kom da.
Let's see if I can get some clips out of this one.
Yes, is it
There's a lot of things happening.
Bring in the Pirate Princess.
Yes.
Okay, Lilian, du må komme. Nå skal vi avslutte. Oh, wow. I said, we're going to end it, so you must come. And then she said, yeah, just wait a moment. But last time, she almost started crying. So that's a very definite improvement.
Absolutely.
I like it. And she has been looking so much forward to Halloween. She has been planning it for like literally months, like 2 months, thinking about what to do. And she's been asking me every day, so how many days are left? So I'm thinking next year, maybe we should make a calendar. A
Halloween
calendar. Huh?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe we should. I don't know. Do we like this darker lighting now that I don't have so much light from above? I only have my streaming light.
I don't know. I feel that it's darker up here too, and that's super weird because I changed nothing.
Well, it's darker outside, isn't it?
Is it though? Wasn't it like completely dark? Okay, Lilian, nå må du komme. Hæ? Hva sier du, kompis? Kom da. She's coming.
Jeg må sitte fast.
Kom da.
No. What did I do? I clicked the wrong thing. There we go.
Ok, er du klar? Skal jeg trille deg enda litt nærmere? Er det på seg? Oh.
Yeah, so tomorrow for Halloween, Lillian will be, the pricky, her was it not a leopard, a leopard, anyway, a cat animal. But then for the real Halloween, created, as well as said months ago, a robot costume out of cardboard and duct tape. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. Feeling very artistic, especially with my new glasses. But I talked enough about them last time.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, we're gonna sing now. Du må opp, Lilland, så de ser deg, så må du stå nærme der. Opp med deg, opp. We do the Gatsby app treasure hunt with app Queen Raae. And our guest is Pricky and Waffen. Junior Devs, Lilian and Ola.
Okay, I'm ending.